Alright, what's going on, guys? We just got the story overview trailer for Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon to coincide with the Armored Core booth being set up at San Diego Comic-Con, where you guys have probably seen they have a life-size Armored Core. But I gotta say, this trailer is absolutely incredible and gives us a lot of insight into our player character and the organization we'll be working for. So today we're gonna be breaking down this trailer, all of the little cryptic things we can see inside it, as well as a lot of context that have come from other trailers and websites to paint a more full picture than we can see in here. I'm gonna let the trailer play through one full time, but as we get into it, I do want to remind you guys that since the channel is so close to 100k, once we reach that goal, I'm going to be giving away a free copy of Armored Core 6 to one subscriber here on the channel, on the platform of your choice, and all you gotta do to be entered in for that is number 1, be subscribed, number 2, leave a like on the video, and number 3, leave a comment in the comment section down below. But with all that, we'll dive into it. Now the trailer is really long, so I'll see you back around the 5-minute mark.
You again. You know, I'm not exactly craving company here.
Hounds now entering combat zone. Initiating phase 2.
So, what happened to 617 and the others? Fill me in, Handler Walter. Well, at least you're helping me clear my inventory.
Vital signs lost. Recalculating approach vector.
This one is functional, but don't expect much more.
I'm not here to talk. Wake it up. Signal lost. Updating target parameters. Phase 3, pattern E. Six 1-7 down. Reporting to Handler Walter. Mission complete. 621. I'll give you a reason to exist. Let's get to work.
Before we pick apart the new trailer, let me give you a brief overview of the background of the game and the overall setting that we're going to be playing in. Armored Core 6 takes place on the planet Rubicon 3, after a new advanced substance called Coral emerged and took the eye of various interplanetary factions. It was thought that Coral would advance humanity's technology and communication capabilities, but instead the emergence of Coral caused a cosmic disaster, turning the entire system into a burning star. And now these factions war over the remains of Rubicon, vying for control of of Coral. So with that background, let's dive into the story trailer. It opens up with a shot of an Armored Core head with lots of ruined wires hanging around it, and we'll come back to that. The trailer is divided into two time periods that are playing simultaneously. One is during this battle that we can see going on now, and the other is after the combat, after the wreckage has been discovered in the laboratory operating on one of the soldiers. And the trailer consistently transitions between the two. We then get a shot back in the laboratory where one of the soldiers is being operated on, and a character enters the room allowing light to filter in. And we're told about two characters, 617 and Handler Walter. We get a cut once again of one of the Armored Cores going down, and then immediately back to the laboratory, with another very quick shot of a human on the operating table. We then see what this battle was about, with the missiles that the Armored Core shot earlier landing on this mining facility, and they tell us that Unit 619 has gone down. We see two of the Armored Cores remaining that actually make it into the facility, but are immediately met with resistance, to which they say they're recalculating their approach vector. And after they say that, we get a shot of a battlefield monitor, which tells us about this group. This is Squad Alpha, with Units 617, 620, and 619. And we can see that 619 was terminated. And those numbers are important, so keep those in mind. But the big obstacle that they face is this massive tank machine that looks fairly similar to the smart cleaner that we saw in the gameplay, but more advanced and fit for battle. An overhead shot of the operation room gives us a good glimpse at two characters. One is a character viewing the brain activity of the subject, and the other entering the room is Handler Walter, who tells the doctor to wake the subject up, regardless of their condition. Back on the battlefield, we get this absolutely awesome shot of 617 fighting this tank with a Gatling gun. He fires off some rounds that don't appear to do much, and then 620 jumps in to help. And we can see that this tank is very versatile, able to fight off both of them at the same time, but then shredding Unit 620 with a plasma shotgun. 617 then dives in head first, brute forcing the tank by using his boosters against it, and then stuffing his Gatling gun into its core. And man, Unit 617 is cool. But unfortunately, it appears that the battle is a stalemate, because we then get a cut to the aftermath, where both the tank and the units are destroyed. But then we learn that at this point the mission is unsuccessful, because a massive laser in the side of the ridge is powering up. But it appears that 617 is still alive, and he realizes that the only way to complete the mission is through self-sacrifice, exposing and detonating his core to destroy the laser. And then after that is done and the laser shuts down, we move on back to the laboratory. Here we get a brief glimpse of the operation coming to an end and the patient being woken up. But then we're back on the battlefield hearing that 617 is down but still alive. Immediately the next scene is a device being removed from the patient, who looks far from human anymore. But then 617, who is far from operational anymore, tells Handler Walter mission complete. And we can see that this same pose shown here is the one in the key art of the game. So the cover character of Armored Core 6 is Unit 617. But then we get to the final shot of the trailer, where we learn that the patient being operated on is 621, and staring down at him from above is an Armored Core. So let me explain this to you now. Unit 621 and the patient shown throughout this story trailer is our player character, and we know this based on the gameplay trailer, which takes place at a later date when Unit 621 is deployed down to Rubicon. But we're not referred to as Unit 621 in this trailer. Instead, Handler Walter activates our cerebral coral control device and calls us Augmented Human C4621. So what I take was going on here in this laboratory was Unit 621 being revived through the use of coral and augmented specifically to live inside the Armored Core and pilot it. And man, does this show us the dark side of Handler Walter, who even after doing this to one of his soldiers, still calls them a dog. But that is essentially what we can glean from this story trailer. I'm sure there's a lot of Easter eggs that are going to be uncovered, but for now, here are the questions that I still have. Number one, how did 621 end up on that operating table? What mission caused them to fail? Because as far as I could tell, 621 was not shown on the mission that we can see throughout the trailer. And because of that, it causes me to ask, what was the relationship between 621 and the Alpha Squad? And what was so significant about this mission that it takes up the majority of the trailer? And finally, why did they choose to have 617 as the cover boy of the game? It almost makes me want to theorize that 621 is 617 but recovered and then re-augmented. But that's just my speculation. Anyways though guys, that is going to do it for the breakdown. Let me know if there's some other stuff throughout here that you noticed. And what did you think about this trailer? Either way though, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like on it and help the channel get that final little bit to 100k. But with all that, I will catch you in the next one.